This is the Abby and Sammy cooking show.
Today on the show, we're going to change it up and we're going to include science in how we are making our spaghetti. And how we're going to do that is by talking about all the macromolecules that tie into making spaghetti,
which are lipids, proteins, nucleic acids, and carbohydrates.
So the first thing that you need for your spaghetti is one of the main things, and it is ground beef. Ground beef is a protein and a macromolecule, and it is also a nucleic acid because it stores the DNA of the animal, because this used to be an animal.
The macromolecules that sauce contains are small parts of lipids and proteins.
The macromolecules that butter contains is called lipids.
The macromolecules that spaghetti contains is called carbohydrates, and they give you energy.
Okay, the macromolecules that bread has is called carbohydrates, and carbohydrates, as Sam said, give you energy. So yeah, eat some bread.
When cooking your hamburger meat, it is smart to crumble the meat up and so it cooks evenly.
And it is important to make sure that there is no red or pink in your meat, because that can make you sick. And it also takes about 15 minutes for your meat to cook, usually on the stove. And okay, first you have to get some ground beef and to slice it up to your desired amount.
This is meat, so it's a protein.
A good tip while you're making your ground beef is that if you want to make it a little bit more flavorful, to make your spaghetti flavorful, is to add some Goya or some type of seasoning, which is a carb, to your discretion. So you can add as much or as little as you want, or you don't have to add it at all if you really don't want to, but it'll make it a little bit more flavorful.
While you're cooking your meat, you can preheat your oven to 425 to start cooking your toast. Now you have to drain your meat and shake it out, and then you put it back in your pan. Next, you have to fill up your pot up with water.
That way you can boil the spaghetti noodles. Cause like, it's not. When the water starts boiling, you need to put in some butter, which is a lipid, to add flavor.
Yeah. Am I doing this right?
Yes. Then you add your noodles,
Which is a carbohydrate.
A tip of making your spaghetti is to break up your noodles so that they'll cook easier and quicker, and they'll be easier to eat.
When you cook your noodles, it takes about 10 minutes for noodles to usually boil, and it can vary just a few minutes. And also, you want to make sure that you're stirring while your noodles are boiling, because you don't want them to stick to the bottom. And you also need to break them up, like Sam said earlier. That way, they're easier to cook, and it makes it easier to stir them. And yeah. Next, you need to make some garlic bread, which is also a carbohydrate, because bread is a carbohydrate. So, put that on your pan. Nice and buttery. When the oven is preheated, you can go and put in your garlic bread. This one is supposed to cook for 5 to 6 minutes.
Whenever you think your noodles are ready, you take them and you drain them. Shake them out and put them back into your pot and leave your pot sitting so that you can then prepare your meal. After your bread has cooked for 5 to 6 minutes, you take it out and let it cool off before you get to eat it.
Next, you're going to take your sauce and pour it into your meat. Just like that.
Now you can prepare a meal with all your macromolecules.
Okay, so
You dip out your noodles.
get whatever amount you want onto your plate.
Then you dip out your sauce, whichever amount you prefer.
Which this is also a nucleic acid because of the meat. It holds the DNA. Now you can put your garlic bread onto your plate also.
Now, time to enjoy your spaghetti with all your macromolecules. Now it's time to enjoy your spaghetti. Even Lulu enjoys spaghetti.